some of you have probably been brought up in homes where there was a kind of hush hush about certain things and certain dynamics, and you as a child could feel inside of your little nervous system and your body that, okay, something is not aligning, something is not congruent, something does not match.
From beautiful seeds to flourishing legacies.
Now, when we have been brought up in a home, or when we have been brought up around caretakers, it might not even be just in our home, it could be really anyone who has an influence on our development growing up. What happens is that we know something in our bodies to be true, right? And when we are constantly rejected and told that it is a lie, we stop trusting our bodies and we stop trusting ourselves. And what happens is this creates something so dangerous for us in the future. This is why we become so impressionable to the effect of toxic people who come to us, and we might feel that little flutter inside of our stomach. Something isn't right. I want to get away from this person as much as possible. And I had this experience myself. I remember communicating with a covert narcissist. Everything they said seemed like, yeah, that seems like a good thing they're saying, and everything they are saying makes sense, and they seem like a good person. They seem like they know what they're talking about. But there was this constant fluttery feeling inside of my stomach. There was this need to get away from the conversation as soon as possible, and I kept ignoring it, and I kept looking over it, and kept doing everything else to kind of overcompensate in my niceness, because I felt like, oh, I should be extra nice to this person because, you know, they are such nice people in what they are saying. But then as time went, things were revealed about this person. Allah revealed these things about this person in the way that they would play these mind games and they would have these behaviors, and it became quite clear to me that, hey, this person is super duper whooper toxic, right? And when I finally understood that and I accepted it, I remember the moment I was standing at the window of my children's bedroom. I was looking outside the window, and I remember thinking, you know what? I believe myself. For the first time, I looked at myself and I told myself, I didn't physically look at myself, but I looked at myself metaphorically, and I said, something is wrong. And I believe myself about this feeling. And what happened at that moment was that I trusted my intuition. Some people call it intuition, I call it instinct. I trusted my instinct, because intuition can be a complicated word. You can talk about inspiration, which is from outside. Read my book, The Woke Writer, explains everything about that. There it is. But in our case, it was just gut instinct that something isn't right. My body knows it. My nervous system feels it. My thoughts are going rampage because I'm ignoring it, and they're trying to protect me from it. So hey, you know what? I believe myself. I remember when I told myself I believed myself, it was like this peace came over me. Finally, there was like this acceptance of, hey, you did see things the right way. And this is what has been happening. And as I began to put my boundaries up around this person, they began to show themselves even more. And that confirmed to me that, okay, my body knows sometimes what my mind does not even know. And I think it's time that I started listening to my body, and that's where I began to become more conscious about somatic work and other nervous system work, and just in general what I was going through and my own complex PTSD. I became aware of that all from this situation, and little nuggets of what was happening before, which I never really asserted or let myself be aware of. So what I'm saying here is that the self-trust that is supposed to be instinctual to us can be something very hard for a person who has been in a home where there have been secrets. And this is such an important topic, because when we grow older, we fall into these habits in our own home. And sometimes if you have small children, you'll say something and they'll just kind of give you this look like something isn't right. And that's their little nervous systems picking it up like spidey sensors. They can sense it so much more purely than so many of us, because they don't have the blinders of their trauma upon them. And I understand that some things that you cannot tell your children, or you can't tell the people around you, and some things are very delicate and things which are very vulnerable and should not be spoken about, right? And these are secrets, but I do ask you to validate the feelings in yourself and in your children and those around you, that yes, there is something I am not saying, but it is something that I cannot tell you. And at the own level, whatever you are ready to explain, just keep it at that, inshallah. So next time your child or you notice something around someone that isn't right, there is that validation, there is that understanding that my body is telling me something that is true and I can trust it. And when those children grow up and when you grow into the beautiful human being that you are, from unblinding all of these things upon you that have covered your beautiful seeds, right? Then you too will, inshallah, start to trust your body as well. And that is so important, to have that validation that you are right. Your instinct is telling you the truth, but your mind is telling you that it is not true. And this is why secrets can be so dangerous, because they can break not only your spirit, but it can break whole societies apart. And that is why politics is such a dangerous game. That is why some corporation, that corporate mentality where it's like, you know, getting the underhand and upper hand and working in a certain way, can make the people who work with them feel so unsafe, right? Because they at their bodies are sensing there's a secret here, something isn't right. And I feel this lack of safety, right? So just validate that your body knows things that sometimes our mind is not ready to receive, and it's all a protective mechanism for us. And I really hope that we can start trusting our bodies, trusting our instincts a little bit more, so next time we are around someone who is not good for us, or we are in a situation which is dangerous, then we can pick it up instantly and know that, hey, pick it up early and it's time to go. And fast forward from that time, and after doing some of this work, I had interacted with another person. This person, the first thing that they said to me was this kind of like, so nice, they were doing so many things for the organization that I work for, and I remember thinking, wow, they're very like accommodating, right? And then slowly they started to push the bounds a little bit. They said things like, hey, I'm working from home today. This is a male, this is someone who I had to work with for professional reasons, right? And they're pushing the bounds a little bit, and they're like, oh, would you like a meeting on a phone call on my way to work or whatever? And I'm like, nope, I would not. You know, and I didn't bother replying. I just kind of kept it professional, just kept it as it is, and I tried to always have a third person present as much as I could. So anyway, picked it up straight away. And I already knew that this person had certain behaviors, and when we had to work around this person, because it was again for professional reasons, I saw patterns of their devaluing, their love bombing, all of that, and just the unprofessional kind of invites here and there. And I just kind of observed it from, you know, just from that place where there was no emotion involved. It was just like, okay, I'm not going to work with this person anymore. I'm just going to get what I need done and they will do the same on their behalf, and just move along, man. Just move it along. And it was so much easier to do that without the investment that we make emotionally to overcompensate all the things that we feel that we should be doing, the same way we did with the people who we trusted as growing up and our caretakers, and just stopping that pattern once and for all. Now, it's not as easy as saying stopping that pattern, because it's something that has to be embodied. You have to feel it inside of your body instead of think about it in your mind. And this process of trusting yourself and trusting your body around people who are toxic and environments that are not good for you will take time. But as long as you have that intention that I am going to do this work and I'm going to pay attention to it and I'm going to be consistent in it, no matter how small the steps that I take forward are, you will progress, inshallah, God willing. And I am here to support you in that. All the information is under this video, and I also have a free downloadable for you from my book, The Woke Writer. Is all about surrendering and letting go. I know that you're going to enjoy it, God willing, and send me a message, peace@aishaalam.com, and have a beautiful and blessed day, everyone. Peace.